We are getting a market flash on American Express. Amazingly resilient in the second quarter. Company topped estimates for profit and revenue on a 20% jump in card fees. The wealthiest card members aren't pulling back. First in business class airfare spending has jumped 10%. Gen Z spending as a solo category for the first time, and they had by far the biggest jump in transactions, up 39%.
That trick, Brent. I'm giving you American Express. AXP, it seems to be hitting an inflection point on the stock. It's well below the market multiple.
Hello traders, I'm Rick. This is the Market Timer, and it is a very quiet September 1st, Labor Day 2025. Currently it's 9:57 a.m. Chicago time. For the rest of you, that would mean Central time. I'm just sitting here having my cup of joe. Wanted to go over the American Express. Here's what I want to share with you all. American Express, AXP. We're looking at the monthly chart of AXP. Let me take my face off of here so that you can see more of the chart and less of me. Notice here, just like the S&P, the AXP, American Express, has just continued to move up year over year over year. Of course, it has its periods of decline. Okay, now what I want to draw your attention to is since the time of compression, which is back here, as you can see, this area right here, and of course that's noted by the squeeze that's found on the TTM indicator right here, all those red dots. Since then, it has really done great. It's just been trending up until it came up to this top at the beginning of the year. Now, this monthly top, again, we're on the monthly chart. This occurred right at January, the first month of this year. Okay, so that's January, and that's my horrible writing. So from January until April, and it was around when everything else started bottoming after the old tariff scare brought prices down across the S&P. It came down here, and it looks like it's the 34 EMA. This is the 21, so that's the 34. I'm going to just write that down. It doesn't really matter which one it is, but in case you want to know, that's the 34 exponential moving average. All right. So this was April. And since then, it has been overall positive, except for, looks like July right here was a negative month, but that was after it made a new all-time high right here. January was the all-time high. July broke above it, and everything pulled back down to the 13 EMA. So I like it when everything stays on top of the 8 and 13, and these are both green, which means the 8 is above the 13. That's what that means. So we can see it came off the 13, very bullish, and it has now, as of the end of last week, made a new all-time high. Now, what is it about this all-time high that has me more excited than the one that was made in July? Well, I'm going to show you on the weekly time frame. So let's now move on to the weekly time frame. Get it to scale here, look a little better, look easier. Again, I have the line here on all-time high. We've exceeded that this week that just ended, the last week of August. And so you can see that now we have this virgin territory to deal with. Okay. Stochastics curled up. That's great. We got bullish indications here. RSI, bullish. All that's just fine and dandy. But I just care mostly about so-called riding along the trend lines. They call that a cup and handle. That's a cup and handle. There's the cup, there's the handle. And normally with a cup and handle pattern, or I should say often with a cup and handle, all right, is that you're going to see a follow through, usually whatever the depth of this is, extended up. So if I was to take a line, let's see. So if I was to put this line right there, that's the depth of the cup. And then you transfer that. See, can you transfer that? Yeah. And if you transfer that right at the break, which would be somewhere right there, and if we bring this down, you would say that the target of the projection is up here around, I don't know, 435, somewhere around there. Okay, so let me put some kind of indication here. Cup and handle target, for lack of a better word or description. So anyway, that would be a really nice, now that's long term, of course. This is a weekly chart. So that would be the long-term objective to you buy and holders. And let's now go and take care of looking at the daily chart. Okay. Playing with my chart too much here. All right. So as far as these EMAs are concerned, these stacked EMAs, when you see them stacked like this, 813 is above the 21, above 34, above the 55, above the 100, above the 200, or whatever it is that you've used for EMAs, it doesn't really matter as long as you start from a small one and you increment it in some kind of interval. When they're stacked positive like that, that's bullish. So you can see where things kind of resumed its bullishness back here in May. Looks like the beginning of May of this year, after it had dumped here in the beginning of the year, January, February. You can see now things have been positive overall. Yes, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes all over the place. But the overall direction is up. As long as these little puppies here, that'd be the stacked EMAs, of course, are stacked positively. And so we can see they're still stacked positively. Now, another thing that you need to be aware of is that when they expand, like you can see they're spread out. They're not as compressed as you see here. What happens is they compress on pullbacks or trend changes. So here in this case, you can see they expand on this impulse move, and then they contract on the pullback. Then they expand again on the next impulse move, and then they contract, and then you got a trend change as they start moving negatively stacked, are all compressed here. They haven't gone completely negative because they're still above the 100, 200 here. But you can see how they got compressed, and then you got the next impulse move here where they expand. So there's still room to expand as much as you can see here. You can see how much it's expand. We haven't quite reached that yet. So there's still room for expansion. And you can see we have not lost our momentum, buying momentum yet. We're close. we're close, and I'll tell you why we're close in a second. And so you can see here blues and the prices start to decline. You can see blues and it's declining. We have not reached that yet. That's my point. We haven't reached yet. Could be the next 1 or 2 days. I don't see why not. But right now we have good momentum. RSI is positive, although it says it's moving in its overbought zone. What I would like to see as far as the daily on American Express, one, there's a couple of things you can do here. All right, if you're a trader and you're thinking about trading, a couple of things you can do here is you can take it, you can buy it because it's broken above the all-time highs, is now in virgin territory, and you can get out if it cracks below that line as support. That's one thing. Another thing you can do is you can let it do its thing and pull back to the all-time high line and then look for it to bounce off of that before deciding to jump on board. So you got a couple options. I'm not going to tell you which one to do or to do anything at all. This is information only, folks. We have positive trend, positive stacked, positive momentum. We have RSI positive. Everything's positive here. So what I'm doing is bringing to your attention that the American Express is a stock to put on your watch list in the event you want to do something about it real shortly. And I definitely will be looking to take advantage of this. Maybe not necessarily right off the bat, because you can see we're at an 8 count, and 7, 8, 9 usually has some kind of a pullback. You can see here 7, 8, 9 usually have some kind of pullback. So I favor let this thing go up and just pull back. That's what I want to do. And even better is that when this thing is pulling back, I like to see the stochastic pull back down here again and give me a dippy doodle like you see here, these little pullback dippies, and then go ahead for a low risk entry to the long side. In my case, it would be call options. All right. And if you like Heikin Ashi, there's the weekly on the Heikin Ashi. You can see that the Heikin Ashi is currently showing a weekly bullish trend beginning here after a correction. You can see that prices are trading above the multiple EMAs. This whole netting you see here are just a whole bunch of EMAs. And then down here, my smoothed RSI indicator, you can see that it is now, it's still trading above the 50. That's strength. And you can see that it's making a breakup back into the green zone, which is indicative of bullishness. So things are looking on the bullish side weekly for the American Express. Okay, well, I think we've covered that pretty good here. And if you have any questions, you can plop it down in the notes section of the video, or if you're on my Discord, which by the way is free to join, that's also down in the notes section. There's a link there if you want to join, where I often post my market analysis. If you have any questions, leave them and I'll get to them, and I'll respond. I respond to all questions and comments. Anyway, if you like this kind of commentary, then I ask that you please give me a thumbs up on the video, and that would be the like, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and click the notification bell so that you'll get a notification whenever I post a new video. And I thank you for watching. Until the next time, have a good one.